Hello everybody, this is Jack Dennis and welcome to our fly fishing and tying channel. I hope you're all having a good start to the new year and out tying a lot of flies. We started a couple of weeks ago with our Jack Dennis and Friends fly tying session. Our first one was with Dave Allison, and I'm going to be showing you some from the past. One of the things I've been involved with my fly tying career is setting up fly tying theaters and been involved with the many conclaves that fly fishing groups and clubs have over the country. And they really highlight tyers that you may not have ever met. And one of the best ones is one in Idaho, both the Western Idaho Expo and the Eastern Idaho Expo, which is in Idaho Falls. They've been doing these fly tying get-togethers for a long time. We're talking over 30 years. So I want to do some highlights from some that I filmed in 2009 and 2010. And you'll get a chance to meet some names you know, and maybe some names you didn't know. And one of the nice things about tying at these expos is all the excitement and sounds of people going around telling lots and lots of fly fishing stories. Most of them may be exaggerated. But one of the nice things about the theater is you get a chance to listen to the tyers talk about their experiences and answer questions. I think you're going to enjoy them. We're going to start this week with several. We'll try to give you the most information. And I know some of you are going to say, wow, you know, I don't know about the materials. Well, these are really uncut. So, you know, you do your best on figuring it out. But I think you're going to enjoy the interaction with the crowd and with the tyers. And really uncut and I think extremely fun. Let's get going.
Is with poly humpies, because you can learn the techniques of a humpy without fighting with hair. And so, plus they float like a cork, one back cast and it dries. And Al used to use these a lot when he was guiding, and we use it as an indicator fly sometimes. So I'm going to need to reset my vise here. Okay. Again, I'm going to use my thread as my body material. So I'm going to use a nice bright fluorescent color so you can see it. The biggest problem with the humpy is crowding the eye. So instead of normally on a dry fly, like a wolf, I would start at about the 1/3 point, because that's where I'm going to want to set my wings. Well, if I do that on a humpy, I end up clear up here and I don't have room for my head. It gets real messy. So I kind of trick myself and start clear back here on a humpy at the 1/2 point. And that gives me a marker and tells me where I want to tie on my poly yarn. For this particular fly today, I'm just going to use some mousse for the tail. I don't know if you've ever worked with mousse for tail material, but it's very easy to use. I don't know, can you see it in that camera too? I can only see this, so I don't know how good I'm showing it to you. Mousse doesn't flare like the other materials.
What you see in that television there is what they see.
What they see there?
Yes.
Okay, good. In both?
Yes.
Okay, good. There again, we want to put the butt ends in first and stack the material. Be sure and take it out with the tips pointed the way you're going to put them on the fly so you don't have to mess around with it. Now if you take a look, remember what I talked about, the tie, if you twist at the twist over point, it should be equal to the eye. I don't know if you can really tell, but I've got way too much hair here. And that's going to cause my fly knot to be balanced. So I'm just going to get rid of a little bit of it. That's a lot better. And I'm going to measure, I want it about the length of the shank of the hook. Remember to do a good solid, some anchor wraps, and then come back with some looser holding wraps and trim. That looks long. Oh, not too bad. Poly yarn is just that good old stuff that we used to use for macrame, and it just doesn't hold water. So and it was kind of ugly, actually, but it makes a really good humpy. I'm going to use some gray. You could use gray, you could use the tan, you could use the brown, whatever you want. This orange I like to use for salmon flies and furl it for the tail. It's really cool. So let's just get a piece of this. Oh, there's a piece just ready to go. I'm going to double it over like this. And then I'm going to trim those ends so they're even. Set it on the hook and capture it. Now remember, this thread is going to be the body, so I'm going to be pretty careful and try to make nice, even, smooth wraps. Counter twist it to get all the twists out of it. You can actually get this thread to be almost flat like floss. I'm going to build that up a little bit right there. Okay. At this point, you need to step back and take a look and say, okay, where do I want the wings? And pull it forward. It's not quite right. Move it forward a little bit. Take a look. That looks good. And I hold the poly up and away from the hook and drop the thread over and then pull it down. And I've got my hump. Be sure you can see the body color. Now I could change my thread now to black, or I can just leave this color on, and I'll just leave this color on for now. Measure with my scissors and cut it off. I'm going to divide the wings. And do a couple of crisscrosses through them. The secret really is that if you're going to fish this yourself, you don't really have to divide the wings. You could just fish it with them flared. I'm going to come in the center and start wrapping around the wing. Now the secret with posting a wing is if I pull super hard without holding it, it's going to unwrap. So what you do is you can ratchet down on it when you're holding on to it, but then take a loose wrap and then pull it. So you don't want to pull tight when you're not holding on to that wing. Same thing here. Here we go. We've got our divided wings. Let's see, I need to find. That's a little long. There we go. Nope. Well, this is a little long too, but we'll use it to save time. And now let's wrap our hackle. Okay, one wrap over and pull it back and wrap over the top of it. And trim the excess. And we have a poly humpy. Would you like to pass it around? Let's see how we're doing on time. Okay, I can do one more fly and not be too long. I'll do a parachute and show you how we tie off our parachute. That's probably one of the best tricks we do. And I kind of like to show people to do that because it was kind of an aha moment when Al and I figured out how to do this.